Good morning all. Today Jeff and I decided to work on a river. We're on the good old Mother Yuba. So far it's almost cold this morning. I'm kind of liking this. Haven't really decided what we're doing yet. We have several different options. We've been here before. We have a spot over here. We found gold there. We have a spot right here that it looks to me like we can work a lot of gravel with minimal effort. And then down over here, there's another spot that the gravel looks the best. This spot right here, the one that's minimal effort, I really don't like the looks of the gravel. Down here, it's really hard to work, but the gravel to me looks the best.
And we found gold there before.
Yeah, and we found gold there before. We found gold over here, and the gravel looks decent over here, but we're running into a wall. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Now we were in here months ago, and we worked up into this gravel pile here. And my theory at the time, and still is my theory, is during a flood, this is an eddy right here. That's why this gravel's piled up. So you got fast water meets slow water. This is where the gold would drop out. The gravel's nice heavy gravel, but we kind of got boulder bound, and we brought the winch with us today in the bar so we can move these, but we're not going to go very far before we end up with 3 feet of overburden. So that could be an issue. Now the second spot, okay, right where Jeff is standing, the bedrock pinches together right there. Down here we have this big boulder that I think we can move fairly easy. If we flop this over, the rest of the boulders can be manhandled, and we have the water to help us move the gravel. And the object here is to work up to where it pinches, and then right on the downside of that pinch, that's going to be your catch if it's not worn smooth. Now the only issue I have with this spot is this gravel doesn't look good to me. It looks awfully light. And I don't see any real heavy rocks in here, so that's my one concern with this spot. Now the third spot, this area, I really like the gravel. This gravel, nice heavy gravel, laid in here real nice. The bedrock is a little more polished, which means it's a little harder, the harder bedrock, you'll have better crevices that'll hold gold where the softer bedrock gets washed out. So the bedrock's better, the gravel's better, the way it's laid in, everything's better here. The downside is we have water. And it's in this area, there's no way to drain this water. And it's almost impossible to get gold out of water by hand. It's just too heavy. It doesn't matter. Every time you move the gravel, it's going to go down. So at this point, I'm saying as much as I like this area, it's not a good option for today. So we're going to head back up, and we're probably going to try to work both those areas. We'll check that one spot that looks like the easiest. In this spot, the bedrock, I can see somebody has worked here, and about 6 inches under the water is the bedrock. So down here, we're not even going to bother with it. We're going to try to get back into here where we can divert the water and dry the bedrock if we find a crevice. Now, this bedrock here is pretty darn smooth. And I think the only chance we're going to find gold here is if we find a crevice. Hopefully, the idea is where that bedrock pinches together on top, we're hoping for a drop there where the gold comes through. When it opens up, the flow is going to diminish, allow the gold to drop off. And if there's a catch there, then we might do pretty good. If it's just smooth all the way down, we're not going to find anything other than just light flood gold. Well, let's move some boulders, see if we can find some gold. I'm gonna dig out from underneath here first, give us a spot for the boulder to fall. I want to sample some of this gravel because you want to get a feeling for what size gold is in this gravel. And also, almost more importantly, is the coarseness of the black sand. That tells you the flow that's going on in the area. If your black sand is real fine, you know there's not a lot of flow. If you got coarser black sand, that's good because you got a little more flow, but the larger gold runs with that coarser black sand. At the same time, you want to pay attention to how packed the gravel is. You know, we've washed a lot of this gravel back, and I've got my first test pan here. So take this down, pan it out, see what it looks like. Got that panned out, and a couple things. We got some gold, small gold, tiny gold. We did get a piece of lead, which is good. But more importantly, our black sand is coinciding with the gravel. You know, my concern was this was lighter gravel. We have really fine black sand. See, we got a few pieces of gold there. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. But if you look at the black sand, it's extremely fine. And now we did get a lot of black sand in that pan. Well, now we know we have gold here. Now, grant you, everything so far is fine. We have fine black sand, fine gold, but we did have that chunk of lead in here. So the trick is we've got to get the bedrock. And we can't get to the bedrock down here because it's underwater. It won't do us any good. So we need to move forward. Hopefully the bedrock will come up to where we're above the river as far as the bedrock goes. And we can divert the water coming down wherever we want it. If we find a crevice, we want to divert it around, clean the crevice out, we can do that. So we need to move forward. So I'm going to grab the bar, start moving some gravel. Well, it moved, but not far enough. Now, by swinging the bar, you can pretty much walk a boulder anywhere you want to. We want to walk this end down a little bit. And then another trick that works really good is we want this corner to roll. We want it to slide down. So you just find a nice round rock and set it under that corner. Then you can go up top and bar, and that'll roll. So let's find us a rock. Got us a nice little round rock. Let's see if we can get it under this corner. We got a larger rock up further towards the rear of the rock, so that'll help to rotate it. Okay, let's see if we can move it now. That's better. Now, anytime you move a boulder, you want to do your best to make sure that boulder is secure where it is, because it's going to be behind you. And you don't want to have a situation where you're moving your feet and you bump a rock and that boulder drops down and pins your foot. So always try to make it as secure as you can after you've moved it. Now I got to just start throwing gravel. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to work this area right here and try to build me a shelf for any gold that knocks loose. Tourists. You always have to deal with the local tourists. Not it. That's why I'm here.
Probably.
That's why I'm here. But I want to build a shelf to catch my gold because I don't want everything just wash away. I'll let the gravel or let the water do the work for me, and then I'll divert the water over here, scoop some of that gravel and pan it, see if there's gold in it. Okay, now what we're doing here is we're going to pull all the rocks as you're dragging the gravel through the water. If there's any gold, it's going to drop out. So what we're trying to do is just get rid of all the overburden. And a rake works perfect for this. We just dump that and we just keep going till we get it down to a point where we want to test it. See if how we're doing gold-wise. But we know that this gravel we're pulling back into the pan is not going to have any gold in it because it's going to be dropping out up in this area. And what we're doing is we want to just kind of concentrate all that right in one area where you can scoop it up and pan it out. Okay, we're at the point now where we need to do another sample. So I got the pan stuck under this lip, and I'm going to pull the gravel back, get the rocks out of here. But at this point, we want to go under our gravel because we're wanting to catch the gold rather than accumulate it. Okay, let's go see if we got any gold. Well, to get you caught up, Tim, the banker, showed up and he disappeared, so I'm not sure where he is. But I've moved a bunch more gravel down, and then I just panned out my spot where I was concentrating the gravel at. We got a pretty good pan here. Let me show you. Now if you look, our black sand is getting heavier. It's still on the fine side, but it's getting heavier. But this piece here, I would almost call that a picker. Getting close to it. And then down here, if you can see it or not, we're getting all kinds of pieces of lead. We're not finding a lot of gold, but we're finding gold. So we're gonna keep on this plan, and hopefully when we get to bedrock, we'll find some nicer pieces. Well, it's been quite a while, and every pan's been about the same. A few little pieces of real fine gold. And I was digging this back, checked it with metal detector, I wasn't getting any more signals, and I just happened to check the wall, and I got a signal in the wall. I just dug this piece out. Now today I'm calling this a nugget. Normally I wouldn't call it a nugget, but this is the biggest piece we found so far today. So let me show you this, and then after that I think I'm breaking for lunch because I'm starving, and I might be giving up on this spot, looking for a spot in the shade. Okay, let me show you this nugget. Nothing to write home about, but for today, I'm thinking that's our nicest piece so far today. Been several hours, a lot of digging. Found Tim. He finally came back down, and he's got a nice pan of gold. Let's take a look at it.
All right, so yeah, that's Tim's gold there. Not a whole heck of a lot. We do have one nice little picker piece there, but it's a good thing that I've got the retirement accounts. It's a darn good thing. And Gary tells me I have Social Security to look forward to, too.
I wimped out. That sun was just killing me. So I'm over here in the shade. Jeff's still out in the sun because he's sure he's got a chunk of gold down there. Actually, I think he's sure he doesn't, but he's not giving up until he gets one out of there. But I think we're going to do a little nosing around. That bedrock in that hole we were working never did come up, and we moved a lot of gravel. And I got a sneaking hunch it's just going to be a gradual raise, and if it's a gradual raise, we're going to find plug gold in the gravel, but we're not going to find any nuggets. So what I think I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of wander around with the metal detector in the shade and see if I can come up with anything there. Started metal detecting around here, and I got quite a few targets. Most of them were just rust that was piled up. We cleaned all that up, and I had a fairly good target over in a little crack here. Dug it out, found a nice little nugget that I'm thinking might go a gram. And then Jeff got a target over here, and he dug it out, found a nice little piece of gold. Now then, we got the Goldmaster VSAT with us, and I checked my hole, and I had another target in the hole that the SDC did not pick up. Dug it out, and I ended up with a small piece of iron and a small piece of gold. So I'm not sure if the detector got the iron or the gold, but right behind me here I have a crack that the VSAT tells me there's two targets in that the the SDC doesn't pick up. So we're going to dig these out and see if the VSAT's going to beat the mine lab. Okay, now the Goldmaster's telling us we got a target right here and a target right in here, and they both have gravel on the bottom. A lot of this doesn't have any gravel, but this spot and this spot have gravel. So we're going to dig these out best we can, see what we can find. Now there is gravel packed pretty good down in the bottom. I think we're going to have to get the hammer. This is where it'd be nice to have Todd's vacuum. We'd be done now. Give me that pack.
Pack?
Yeah. An old teaspoon bent to a point really helps in these little crevices. Okay, and go pan this out, be right back. I'm here to tell you it's not looking so good for the SDC. The Goldmaster VSAT said there was two targets. I have three pieces of gold. Now grant you they're all small, but the mine lab, the SDC, would not pick any of them up. You can see right here we got three pieces of gold, well, four if you count the flashback, but three little pieces of gold. Well, I don't know how much more we're going to be doing. I tell you, the old guy's getting tired. But we are going to swing the detector around here for a little more. If we come up with anything, I'll turn the camera back on. If not, the odds are I'll see you back at the house. Back at the house, and you guessed it, it's the next day. Well, got that gold all cleaned up. So what do you say we jump on the scale and see how we did? Okay, here's Jeff's piece of gold. 0.61. Here's our largest piece of the day. 0.81. Okay, there's the rest of the larger stuff. 1.84 and the fine. We ended up with 2.02 grams. Well, 2 grams, I'm okay with that, but we're gonna have to get out of this 2-gram rut I seem to be in. So we're definitely gonna have to work on that. Okay, now, while we were up there, I shot some drone footage, and when I was editing this video, I was looking at the footage, and there's a couple of shots there where I was up high shooting the river, and from the ground you can't notice it, but from the air there's an area that looks like it might be pretty good. You know, you never can tell till you actually get on the ground and look at it, but from the drone shot it looks pretty good. So I think we're going to be heading back up there first chance we get. We're going to have to cross the river, but what the heck, we'll give it a go, see if we can get out of this 2-gram rut I seem to be in. Okay, well that's pretty much all I got on this one. So I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.